What's your name?
David.
David, nice to meet you, David.
Nice to meet you.
We basically just use a modern synthetic tent, 4-season tent, so we can take the snow load. And what we did when we started out is we just had the chimney running up through the door zipper. And I had an insulated sleeve, and that still got kind of hot. So I had it modified, put a stove jack in so I could run the flue out. And basically that's it. If it's we're expecting really windy conditions, we tie off the 152 lines coming out of it and make sure it doesn't blow away. But here it's not too bad. So I don't know if you want to have a look inside. But
sure.
Yeah, I got my youngest son in there taking care of the dog while he's got back from getting burgers. We put the bunk bed in on the one side. Normally we have the two single cots, the wife and I. But we picked up a bunk bed so we can have 3 people in there. Yeah, it works well for us. I don't know if you want to have a look at the modification over here.
Sure.
The tent's the Cabela's. Unfortunately, they don't sell anymore, but it's the Cabela's Extreme Weather Tent, or XWT. And I just had the stove jack sewn in. A guy that does boat tarps, I provided him with the material. It's silicone impregnated fiberglass. It's right up, often it's right up against the stove flue, and it hasn't melted yet. I think it's good to about 600 degrees Fahrenheit. And I just got some old awning poles for the flue, and it's a little bit crooked right now. I only have one set of screws in to hold it in, so it's kind of funky, but that's about it in a nutshell.
Tell us about falling back to electric heat when...
Oh yes, yeah, well we heat, mainly we use the wood stove for morning heat, making coffee and cooking. But during the night, when nobody wants to get up and stoke the fire, we just run the 2 electric heaters. And the thermostat, you just set it, you learn to set it just right, and it does a great job. I have the 2 just in case it gets real cold. I did lent one out, and so one night we only had the 1 heater, and it got to -30, and it still kept the inside of the tent up to 5 degrees.
Wow.
So it does the job. It works.
Yeah, that's impressive. What's the quality of your sleeping gear?
We don't want to get caught with a power outage and freeze, so we have -45 sleeping bags. Not the super fancy modern synthetic, but just the old camp woods. Big boy, you know, they're real wide and heavy and 23 pounds a bag, but you throw it in the back of the truck or the trailer and away you go, right? But it works well. We use the disco bed cot on the one side, the double-decker bunk bed. On the other side, just a regular woods cot again, a nice wide one, so very comfortable. And we're up off the ground, so we don't have to worry as much about the cold, the cold ground transferring through the sleeping bag. We have the electric heaters that circulates the heat. You're heated under the cot. Works great. Does a good job.
Fantastic. So where are you from, Andre?
We're from about 5 hours north, Kirkland Lake.
Oh, Kirkland Lake, yeah.
Gold mine area.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lynx.
Oh, okay. Cats.
A lot of lynx. Yeah, in the area. So
you got coyotes?
A lot of rabbits. I don't think we have a lot of coyotes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there are wolves in the area, but you don't. I'm not a trapper or a hunter, so I don't know if we have a big population of them. I do know we see lynx because I see them all the time on the highway. There's a lot of them popping around chasing rabbits. We have a good rabbit season, and we have
good cat season.
We have a lot of cats.
Well, that's great. Appreciate your time, man. This is a great setup. This is the kind of setup I could get behind.
It works well. We don't take it backcountry because it just weighs too much. You know, just the tent itself is 43 pounds, and I'm sure we could, with the wood stove, if somebody got up every 2 hours to feed the wood stove, it would probably be great, and it's very warm. A lot of ventilation. There's about 6-inch gap underneath the tent fly. A lot of air goes through, and we never get condensation. Don't get a whole lot of moisture. It does its job.
Yeah, it's beautiful. This is great.
Works well.
Well, I'm glad we ran into you.
Yeah, nice meeting you guys.
All right.
Nice to meet you too.
Thanks, Andrew.
Have a good day.